But yeah, the reason I say this is because I think I was on ADHD medications for a long time. It made me sad. I see a lot of people in therapy, a lot of people close to my life, and they're nonstop going. I have friends from high school who are still in therapy, and it's like, do you ever expect to get out? And they don't. And people on this side, I'm trying to advocate towards a life. I think that if men constantly try to improve and constantly pursue towards something greater, and they believe in something greater like God, they will have a more fulfilling life. If they aim towards having a family, that's where they're going to find happiness. People on the left, they tend to think that happiness is something that they have or don't have. So they need antidepressants, or like, I'm depressed today, and then they go to therapy. It's like,
why do you think therapy is bad?
I don't think it's bad. I think a lot of people do need it. Of course, people who have PTSD, people who went to war, but there's too many people in our generation that constantly go there. And I think they like talking, they like to overanalyze. Our generation lives too much in their own head, analyzing their own thoughts and thinking that they need to classify themselves. It's too introspective, and like when you're like that neurotic, it doesn't make you happy.
Have you thought that therapy might actually help break you out from that? Because like when I go to therapy, basically, you're right, I do overanalyze a lot. And then my therapist is basically like, Pixie, snap out of it. Like, let's bring you back to reality. Like, think about this in this way. And it helps me having that other opinion out there. So it's interesting to me that you think therapy is an extension of that, when it seems like therapy for a lot of people is breaking away from that overanalysis and having a more third-party objective opinion telling you like, hey, look at it from this different perspective. Have you gone to therapy before?
I did once in college, and it was a waste of time. She was hot, and I was just trying to I was just spitting game, and I was sitting there like saying my problems. And this is back like when I was in the Matrix and I was like believing in liberal ideology. I was talking, and I'm like, this is not even that big of a deal. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here. So I started to like embellish the story, and I'm like, this is a waste of time. She's hot. She has big. I don't even like this.
So
this
do
is a
you
waste
think
of
it's
time.
healthy for you that when you were put in a position of like emotional vulnerability, that you had to deflect by trying to like escalate a situation?
I didn't
like
even
a
feel
sexual
vulnerable.
situation?
I didn't even feel vulnerable because I was saying it. And I'm like, oh, this I could just.
Well, if you're in like an intimate setting, one-on-one with a therapist, and you're being asked questions about like your feelings, your thoughts, about like your life circumstances.
I feel more vulnerable, and I feel more open and honest when I'm streaming. When I'm talking to the chat, when I'm expressing myself, when I'm cracking jokes, when I'm reflecting, like this is when I'm more myself and I'm more honest. Like when I'm here talking to people, that's the way that I express myself.
So
when I'm there one-on-one.
Therapy closed off.
I didn't close. I told her shit, but I was saying this doesn't matter. I need to get out of here.
What stuff did you tell
Wait,
her?
why did you go to therapy in the first place then?
Some girl, I was just obsessed over this one girl, and like I wanted a relationship with her, and she just wanted to fuck, and it was like fucking me up, and I'm just like, and it was stupid. Like I didn't need to go to therapy over that. I could have just been like, okay, she doesn't want a relationship, bye. It's easy to solve. Most male problems, they're very easy to solve. Like we don't need to, I didn't need it to have a therapist tell me, don't pursue that relationship. I knew it, but I was just too weak at the time to go and confirm that for myself. W SNEAKO, the blondest is she, they, but who is they though? I don't know. W Destiny, he's going to be pegged tonight by two they, thems. W masculinity, free top G. Okay, bro. SNEAKO, please stop wasting your time with these girls. They are approaching everything from a blank slate. Men and women are different. Ladies, get used to it. We process emotions differently, but here's the thing. The left, they want to destroy the idea of gender at all. They think that gender is ironic. They don't think that there is a difference, even though we're born different.
I never said there is.
I never said there was no difference between.
Well, you said you couldn't even classify masculinity and femininity, and you said that gender is ironic, and you don't even know how to define it.
Well, it's because we're looking at it from sex and gender being different. I think that's the biggest problem. Because I do agree that there is difference between biological males and biological women. I just think that a lot of these things that we describe as masculinity are traits that are really just like for people in general. So like being a protector, I think, is for people in general.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that feminism has brainwashed a lot of women to think that they need to play the male role when they're going to be their happiest.
Why is that the male role though? Like why you're saying?
Because it's traditionally always been that way, and men are stronger, so we should play that role of protecting and providing. We are more capable mentally. We don't get pregnant for 9 months, and we're not the nurturers. So it just falls into that category based on biology, and it's worked for centuries, and I think we should stick to that. And I think there's more unhappiness now because that reason that we're trying to separate the ideas of gender.
I think it's interesting when you say that because I think do you know Sparta? Do you know the history of Sparta?
No, enlighten me.
Okay, you know that they were a warrior culture?
Yeah.
Do you know that politically they were run by women?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So I think it's interesting when you say men are more mentally capable Yet we have this society that was like really great or really strong or whatever that was run by women.
Okay, that's one example, but most
Yeah, but
societies,
even-
most successful societies have always been patriarchies.
Well, let's look at like the most recent societies in Europe, for example. Like Angela Merkel, like ran the EU basically, had Chancellor of Germany for like how many years?
Why is
Like,
everybody in
over
the
a
chat
decade?
saying that's cap about Sparta?
I mean, you can Google it if you don't believe me.
Mm.
Interestingly enough, Aristotle blamed the fall on Sparta being run by women. He also advocated for slavery, but that's a different argument.
Stop using their language. First step to ending all this bullshit. What did I say? The she, they? I don't know what I use their language. SNEAKO, kick the bots out of your house. Destiny's always on his phone looking like a faggot, and these two women make no sense, giving no arguments, and they're being disrespectful. They got better. To embrace your masculinity and femininity means to embrace your natural inclinations as a man, woman. This doesn't mean there are no overlaps. Men have a greater inclination to protect and providing. I think we should embrace that more. Ask them where Sparta is now. Yeah, it dissolved. But so did a lot of societies from then. So, I mean, I don't know how valid that is.
Can you tell me what a bot is?
You guys, NPCs.
Okay, but like what?
Vaccinated, Biden, therapy, antidepressants, she, they, BLM, Ukraine flag and bio.
And when people say the opposite about you, like they say you're a bot because you have all the opposite beliefs, how do you respond? You're just like, I'm not a bot? Or
Sure, that doesn't offend me. I mean, like, people on your side get really offended when I say bots. It's like something that sticks in your head. But if you guys
No,
call
I
me a
wasn't
bot,
offended. I literally just like don't know what
you're
it is.
just asking.
Like I don't know what like bots are.
bot
like,
is
what the
somebody who
matrix is.
blindly believes in what the government and what the programming is telling you. If you were chronically on TikTok, I had this the other day. I had Pearl come on, and Pearl brought her sister, and she showed me her screen time. Her screen time was like 5 hours a day on TikTok. And so then you kind of get an idea of everything she believes in. She's going to believe in all the liberal programming. And so I showed her Libs of TikTok, the Twitter page where they show drag queens and they show how LGBT is shown in all these classrooms and stuff like that. And I showed her a video of a drag queen twerking on a child. And the child gives a $5 bill on the drag queen twerking in front of its face. And she's like, twerking isn't sexual. It doesn't have to be sexualized. That is bot programming. To think that shaking an ass and that's okay because it's just a performance. It's just a dance. That when I see that, I'm seeing like, this is the fall of the West. This is how society is crumbling in real time. We're seeing kids being brainwashed to thinking that this is okay, this is empowering, this is a good thing, and it's destroying the minds of a lot of kids. Like they should be in a sandbox, they should be like in a classroom, they should be having fun, they should be playing with toys, not sex toys, they'd be playing with Legos and shit. But this is the indoctrination that's going on. And so when I see that, and when I see this girl come on who's on TikTok chronically, who's depressed, who's in therapy, who's boosted, vaccinated, who believes Biden is good, and she says that this is not a bad thing, that twerking isn't sexual, this is okay, that's a straight up NPC, because this is terrible. And this should be, like, back in the day, like, they would stone you to death for doing that shit. And we just allow it now. And I think that's the next step of the LGBT
Do you think
movement.
women should be stoned for using TikTok?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think it should be banned. But I'm just saying, like, this is why, like, if I was president, this goes back, like, my first thing would try to bring God back in some sense, was why I'd ban porn, why I'd ban TikTok, and why I would try to stop getting in foreign affairs like Ukraine, because we need to focus on our own country, because everything is collapsing. Like New York City,
I have a question.
full of degeneracy, San Francisco, LA, full of degeneracy. It's disgusting.
Do you not think that global issues affect the United States at all?
Of course they do, but we don't really help. We just keep bombing these countries nonstop, and it's not really to go and help out the country. It's to constantly stay at war so we can generate a lot of revenue. If the arms industry, if we're always at war, then the arms industry makes a lot of money. It's great. The man fought the war, though, idiot, Zakucha. They're talking about Sparta again. Ask them to name one matriarchal society that successfully stood the test of time and or revolutionized something in the world that was positive and is still being used to this day.
What was the question?
Ask them to name one matriarchal society that successfully stood the test of time and or revolutionized something in the world that was positive and is still being used until this day.
A matriarchal society that has revolutionized the world and is still being used today. I would argue that certain Native American tribes some were matriarchal societies, had agricultural practices that are still popularly used.
But I'm guessing you're gonna say like that's an exception, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the exception doesn't make the rule. I mean, most societies are patriarchal, so I think we should follow that. Our perception of the world is heavily that's like the same argument. Like, what about girls that are infertile? Like, okay, sorry. It's like, what about stairs? Should we get rid of stairs because there's cripples? Or should we just accept the fact most people have legs? Thank you for the 5. Our perception of the world is heavily influenced by our biological gender differences. This inadvertently influences our psychology, which is why there are different inclinations. A bot, thank you, Jeffrey. A bot is a human being completely brainwashed by the system and resulting culture. The 3 of you are in a mental prison that you aren't even aware of. That makes you a bot. Destiny, I'm curious about this. Recently, you got on stream and you were saying how it's not fun to hang around progressives, and conservatives are more fun because they can go to the shooting range, and liberals are on antidepressants and they get triggered by everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think based on the types of hobbies that I have, conservative people are usually more fun to hang out with. But it also depends on the environments too. Like 99% of the shit that the Redpill people teach is like what sends men to therapy. Like if you wanted to become a healthy person and you were a guy and you're like entering your mid to late 20s where you have to like grow up and be an adult, you have to spend like years unraveling all the insanely toxic shit that you get taught in Redpill communities. That would be like step one.
Is there anything else you wanted to blue pill me about?
I just am wondering, I wish you could talk more about like the reasons other than I just think it is this way. Like that's what I'm interested in about.
I'm interested, like, do you think that red pill people are kind of like the antithesis to like simps?
Yeah, I think simping makes men extremely unhappy. I tell my streams to not watch porn, to not watch OnlyFans, to stop simping. I get some of the people, I get some simps in my chat. I tell them it doesn't make them happy. Men don't naturally want to be simps. It's not in our blood.
Then how do you explain why there are so many simps?
Because of the brainwashing, because of programming, because of stuff like Twitch. Twitch, they have, I'm banned on Twitch. Nobody knows why. Nobody will explain it to me. But you know what they promote, you know, never get banned. People like Amaranth sitting in a hot tub, just sitting there half naked. Pokemon gets all these viewers, and everybody who watches them chronically, they imagine that they're their girlfriend and they're never going to get any interaction from them. OnlyFans, the rise of porn, this turns men into
why
simps.
should Pokemon be banned?
And Pokemon shouldn't be banned, but I'm saying Twitch promotes simp culture because girls will just sit in a hot tub and take donations while guys will give away all their money and get sadder and sadder for a chip dopamine hit. The fact that we have monetized sex so much gives people the opportunity to get a quick dopamine hit instead of searching for actual love and a meaningful relationship, which is what really makes us happy. Tipping a girl $5 on a hot tub stream and she says, thanks, makes them happy for 3 seconds, and then they get sad because they're alone and they're jerking off on their computer screen.
Isn't that kind of all parasocial relationships? Sure, they don't like jerk off, but they're still getting that quick dopamine hit of feeling like they're connected to the streamer.
Well, I tell my chat, I make fun of, there was a guy in here who donated yesterday and today, said he wanted to move in with me. I started making fun of him a lot. I want my stream to be somewhat educational, to be funny, to be energizing. I want people to leave this and feel better. The objective of a simp stream, a hot tub stream, they're not going to feel better afterwards. They're going to feel worse. They're going to feel drained. Their wallet's going to be emptier. I want people to leave this and be like, fuck yeah. I want to get in the gym. I'll be doing push-ups in here every single day. I'll be talking about news. I'm trying to make people laugh. I want them to feel something. I want them to learn something. I want them to walk away thinking, yes, there's still some hope. I always say, like, tell people,
when you
I pray on
donations,
here.
How is that like?
Well, they're trying to contribute to the conversation. They're trying to add to the conversation. When you're on a Twitch stream with a hot tub, you're not trying to add to the combo. She says, thanks, tee ooh, and that's it.
Out of curiosity, do you feel the same way when it comes to gambling streams?
I think gambling is bad. I mean, of course, there's a lot of bad things. I don't promote gambling. I mean, I've been tempted to. I've had like big offers, like $30,000, $40,000 to promote gambling, but I decide not to because I want this to be something positive. You know, there's a lot of garbage, and I think that's part of the reason that I'm banned. I think that every single social media platform, they want you to be mindlessly addicted. They want you to be droning all single day. And I was banned. They're trying to call me a violent misogynist now on YouTube. I was banned because of COVID misinformation, election misinformation, and cyberbullying for making fun of girls' eyelashes. It wasn't because I'm a violent misogynist. They just wanted me out of here. But this is why Rumble's taking over this year. It's like, this is actually energizing. And like, type of one in the chat if this makes you energized, because that's my goal. If I don't get any ones, that I failed. But I want, like, and now I see it on my Instagram story every single day. I post a picture in the gym. People tag me in their stories. I've been reposting them. They're lifting weights. We go back and forth. I joke at them. We have like a relationship that's, I guess it's parasocial, but at the same time, when I'm feeling low or like I'm sitting in bed scrolling, doing bot shit, I see people in the gym posting their stories and I'm like, yeah, and I get up. A lot of you guys have really motivated me too. And look at all the ones. Everybody in here gets energized. If they ask Amaranth, if they ask a Twitch streamer, do you guys get energized from here? They might lie, but deep down they know, bro, this doesn't make you happy. Porn makes you sad.
Do you feel like train wrecks should get banned?
For gambling?
Yeah.
Gambling is a little easier to handle than porn, but I don't think gambling is good. I don't think gambling is good.
I think
so do you think it's more harmful for like?
I think porn is more harmful.
Like,
it's more harmful.
I understand where you're coming from, but it seems to me that there's a disconnect because gambling is literally designed to make you addicted, while porn, we have like these natural inclinations. You can still get addicted. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you cannot get addicted to porn. You can still get addicted to porn, but we have more of natural inclinations to stop that than literally gambling, where it is designed to bypass like all those breaks that we have to keep you addicted. So it seems to me that if you want to ban porn, you should also want to ban gambling, because gambling is actually
That's a fair point.
purposely trying to.
That's a fair point. I don't think, but I think it's worse. And I see how porn is destroying men more than, of course, gambling. A lot of people get addicted, but porn has destroyed men a lot more than gambling, from what I've seen. So that's why.
You would like, if you had it your way and you were in charge of Twitch, you would ban like gambling streams and you would ban like all hot tub streamers.
No, because then Twitch would fail. If I was a CEO of Twitch, of course I would want that. I would want them to do all the degenerate shit they do, because it makes a lot of money. But I thought you had. If I was president, I would not allow that. But if I was the CEO of a company, of course that's going to make me the most money.
So you'd put profits over your values if you were the CEO, but not president.
My friends call me. Well, yeah, this is a hypothetical. I mean, I wouldn't ever be CEO of Twitch. I'm just like putting myself in a hypothetical scenario. Like idealistically, no, I wouldn't do that. I would try to make Twitch better, but then Twitch would fail. So the same thing, Tumblr banned porn, it failed. Porn was the reason it did well.
Interesting. I guess I just brought up the like simp thing because I see a lot of Redpill and like Redpill pickup artistry adjacent communities as kind of like two sides of the same coin as like simps, because I feel like a lot of the Redpill communities, even though you're railing against women, just like simps, you're structuring your entire life around women. Like all that you think about is like ways to live your life in which like a woman is at the center of it.
No, I'm not.
I feel like a lot of masculinity is focused on just not being a woman, basically.
That's what you hear, but no, I think masculinity is becoming strong, is becoming smarter, is just becoming better. Like,
I mean, you literally constructed this binary between like masculine and feminine.
But that doesn't mean that. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's all around getting a girl. Just because there's differences, that doesn't.
Well,
mean
I didn't say getting a girl. I just said around women. Or it could be around like mothers, sisters, girlfriends,
not
daughters.
like women.
Like,
Elstream. About not being a woman.
About being, yeah, like
It's not. No, it's not about not being a woman. It's about being the best man that you could possibly be. And the best man that you could be is a guy who's in shape, is a guy who protects, is a guy who has a good family around him, is a guy who provides, is a guy who's smart, a guy who makes a lot of money. That is the
but
best
it's
man.
all in the service of like eventually getting a wife, right?
It's not. That's not the only. That's part of it. That's not the only reason.
But a man who does all of those things and doesn't manage to get a wife, do you think that he's succeeded?
No, he's failed. Because you need a family is what makes us happiest.
So I feel like it does keep coming back to this. Like
That's part of it, but that's not the sole reason.
Like,
It's the red pill. See, a lot of people on your side, they think that the red pill is all about getting a girl. I actually think that a lot of it is learning about female nature and learning about female delusion, learning why feminism is a lie. But it's not just about getting hoes. I guess that's fun and that's dopamine chasing, and it can make people feel fulfilled in the meantime. But what ultimately makes us fulfilled is having a family, having a big family, making a lot of money, providing, and becoming important, becoming stronger, and just becoming the best person possible.
So do you think it's a problem that like, I think a recent study found that like, what is the average age of a man who's like losing his virginity now?
Like 21, I think.
That's the average age?
Right now. Like, the
like
past,
maybe
like,
median,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing?
I have a lot of religious people and they think that they should stay virgins till marriage. I personally think that with how much sex is monetized, guys are going to be less autistic and schizo if they lose their virginity younger. I lost mine like I was 16. I was just turned 17, and I saw guys that lost it later, and like the comparison to other people and the pressure. I think it's better to have a little bit of sexual experience. A lot of people disagree with that, but yeah, guys become really autistic now if they don't have sex, because of how sexualized everything is with the media. So
do you think women should like wait until marriage to have sex?
Ideally, but most won't.
I just wonder, like, how do you square that? Like, if you feel like it is healthy for men to engage in some form of like premarital sex.
I understand the way it is, and I understand the way it is in the West. Ideally, like you're right, we would be virgins until we get married, but that just doesn't happen. That's not realistic to expect in the Western world. So,
do you think the marriage contract is like the most important thing in like an interpersonal relationship?
No, because I think marriage destroys a man in the West. Alimony payments and child support, divorce fees.
Wait, so you don't want men to get married?
I want to get married religiously. I want to get married within the church. I don't want the government to be involved in my love. I think that's stupid. I think it's a dumb decision to get contractually married with the government.
I feel like when you were saying, oh, if you were president, you would try to like adhere to these religious rules, right? But now
that's what I'm saying. I would get married within the church.
Yeah, no, but you're saying the government shouldn't be actually like adhering to those rules. Then I feel like there's a contradiction there. If you think like, oh no, like we should try to bring God into our country more, into our government more. But you're saying the government shouldn't get involved in marriage, which I assume you believe is religious in nature. It seems like you don't really want religion involved.
Okay, so then there you
values.
go. If I was president, then I would remove all the biases that divorce court has against men. I would get rid of that. And then I would make it more fair, and I would incentivize people to get married. But ultimately, I think it's better to be married within the church or within the mosque than to get married. I'm not even see, hypothetically, like you're saying, if I'd be president, I'm kind of a libertarian. I don't really like people telling me what to do. So yeah, I don't want the government involved.
A lot of libertarianism actually centers around like contracts, and marriage is a contract. So you don't think that that's a good idea for people to voluntarily?
I think it's better to have a contract with God than have a contract with Biden.
Do you think marriage is a contract with Biden?
Yeah.
With the government. You understand what I'm being facetious.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Thank you, Jeffrey. SNEAKO undeniably inspires his viewers to become better. His stream got me working out and fired up. Let's go. Watch Destiny for weeks, and he is smart, entertains, but gives no value to streamers. W SNEAKO. Yeah, man. You got anything to say about that? He's on Tinder right now, isn't he? Sparta was a diarchy, which means Sparta was ran by 2 kings. Both kings were part of 2 different bloodlines. Ask them to name 3 countries. Okay, they know 3 countries. They're not. Come on, man. But have you seen on Fresh and Fit the girls that can't name 3 countries?
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
It's pretty funny. It's also sad at the same time that they think that Dubai is a country or Cancun. It's just like, it tells you a lot about what they value if they think Cancun is a country, or like they think London is the capital of Paris.
So okay, as far as education goes, you obviously think that they should know more about like geography and stuff like that. Like, you don't consider, do you like the American education system, or do you think it's brainwashing?
A lot of the American education system is brainwashing. A lot of it trains you to be part of the matrix.
Can you give me an example?
You go training you to be part of the 9 to 5. You have a schedule. You're told when you can go to lunch. You have to get a pass to go to the bathroom. You eat the same thing every day. You go to a cafeteria, eating similar food to what they eat in prison. If you act up too much, like me, if I'm wilding out in class, they give you pills. They say you have ADHD. They say you have a problem.
Well, the structure, yeah, but I'm talking more about the curriculum.
What about the curriculum? It's mostly the schedule and the monotony
which
of it.
Subjects do you think are
It's not necessarily the subject, but they're not teaching you how to be self-governing. They don't want you to be independent. They don't tell you about how to file your taxes. They don't tell you about entrepreneurship in primary school. They teach you stuff like mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell, and we learned about the Pythagorean theorem. I haven't used that once since I left. And the stuff that's really made me a lot of money now is stuff that I've learned from on the internet, on YouTube tutorials, and from talking to people.
Do you think math and algebra, these are valuable courses?
Of course, they're valuable to learn, to have basic levels of intelligence, but they should focus more on telling you how to actually make money. Why don't they tell you about the Federal Reserve? I never learned about that in school.
Becoming an engineer would make you a lot of money. That would be very lucrative.
Yeah, but that's college. I'm talking about primary school.
Do you feel like college is also brainwashing, or no? Do you think that's an over-exaggeration?
I think all colleges in America are woke indoctrination camps. For example, they had...
Have you gone to college?
I dropped out. I was there for 2 years in New York.
What was your major?
Film.
Do you mind me asking which college in New York you went to?
No, I'm not going to say.
That's okay. That's fine.
So why did you choose to major in film?
Because I'm a creative at heart, and I was making YouTube videos for 10 years, and I wanted to make movies, and so I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I wasn't as successful at the time, so I decided that was the safety net. When you're 18, you decide to take on a bunch of debt. Like me, I had $60,000 in debt after I dropped out. They give you this opportunity to take out a bunch of loans, but it's funny, if you're 18 and you walk into a bank and you ask for a $60,000 loan to open up a business, they'll deny you, but they'll give you a student loan immediately so you can go into debt. It's telling you become a debt slave so we can control you. Immediately when you graduate, you have to get a job to go pay off the debt. Now you are part of the matrix.
Wait, so do you agree with her policy on universal or free state college and stuff like that?
I don't like handouts.
Well, we're already paying with it.
But you said the debt was bad. You would have rather not had as much student loan debt, right?
Yeah, it costs too much, but I don't think making it free is the solution.
Do you know how public colleges are funded? Most of them?
Yeah, it wouldn't be free. It would be through
They have big
taxes.
donors for the most part.
Most public colleges, the way that they're funded is through taxpayer money. So the literal state governments are already giving a lot of these colleges millions upon millions of dollars. So the reason why I believe that there should be free or reduced tuition is because we're essentially taxing people twice when we make them pay tuition for public universities. and then also taxing them on top of that. So
That's fucked up.
yeah, so the argument is like, it's not really a handout. We're already paying for it.
So maybe you would support it, right? No.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe you could argue for that. That doesn't sound like a terrible. When you say it like that, it doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
So you do think there's at least some value in like a secondary education?
There is, but it costs too much in the West, and it's a scam for most people. And
Well, like absent, if money weren't an issue, like in general, do you think most like colleges, universities, and stuff like that, do you think that there's more value in it than negatives?
if it costs less,
Well, like I'm talking about like the curriculum and like the entire culture of like universities in the United States.
no, the culture of college in the United States too just encourages degeneracy. Like you're told, I was partying, like in that. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Of course, there's like some schools are the exception, but yeah, it just the fraternity culture, the constant partying, living in the same dorms as a bunch of girls. You know, it's mostly a lot of drinking culture. Everyone's smoking weed.
Okay, hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I feel like you have narratives for society, and you like backwards reason so many things that don't even exist.
Like what?
So, like for instance, you've reasoned out that colleges are these degenerate campuses that are horrible places, right?
Not all of them.
And then you start to give these things that happen, but like some of the stuff you're pointing out is contradictory. So, for instance, I personally think that having to live in a dorm, if you go to a college, I think that's dumb because I wouldn't want to be forced to live somewhere because I've been on my own since I've been 18. But the reason why they do that is explicitly to counter the things that you mentioned. A lot of dorms have literally no alcohol rules. A lot of dorms are...
And everybody drinks in there
rules.
anyway.
They might, but that's not because the college is letting them. That's because the kids are doing
Well,
it.
I'm not saying it's because of college. I'm talking about the culture.
You can say the culture, but that's not pushed by the college. The colleges will literally kick you out if you have like people in other dorms that are supposed to be there. If like the room attendants get you like drinking, you're not supposed to. Like that's like part of the rules that they try to enforce on campus. I don't know if you can blame college for that when they literally...
I'm blaming the culture. That was the question.
Sure, you can blame the culture, but you can't say that college is indoctrinating them. It would be like the students.
No, college. No, but they're indoctrinating them in different ways. They hire only woke professors. There were no conservative professors at my school.
You've pivoted to a totally different topic. Right?
Well, those are different things.
Colleges have rules against the very things that you're complaining about. Just because colleges have.
I'm complaining. I have gripes with different things. It's the culture of college and also how the professors are all woke and they encourage kids.
Again, but neither of those things you just said. I think you're pivoting to another thing.
Those are two separate ideas. I'm not pivoting.
You complain about college campuses having like drinking on campus and having like women in dorms and stuff. Dorms have explicit rules against those things.
Yeah, you said that. Those are two separate issues. The two issues that I had with college and why I think it was a waste of time. I'm not pivoting. Those are just two different complaints.
Okay, but that has nothing to do then with the college pushing something. Those are the.
I said that. It's the culture.
All right, just make sure.
Yeah.
Also, you really don't think there's a difference between giving a loan to a kid that's federally backed by the government for a student loan versus giving a random person a $60,000 loan for a small business?
I think if they're going to give out like, and a lot of kids will take like $100,000 loans if they can quickly.
First of all, not a lot of kids will. That's an exceptionally high student loan rate.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, after several years, like you can.
That's still exceptionally high.
$100,000 in student loan debt. I don't know what the stats are.
And it does seem like it, but $100,000 is an exceptionally high student loan rate.
I know a lot of people who have that.
No, you don't.
I know a lot of people who've had that. Yeah, I do.
Then you know rich people.
Okay.
What do you think the average student loan debt is in the United States?
20 to 40,000.
Yeah, it's $37,000.
I'm right.
So 100. If the average student loan debt is $37,000,
I said I know a lot of people who have $100,000
yeah, when you
in
say
debt.
a lot of people, you're implying that it's like some sizable portion. Those people have more than 2.5 times the average outstanding student loan debt. Those
Okay,
are
there's people with that,
cases.
but I also acknowledge that the average is between 20 and
Okay,
40.
well then I don't care about those people because just earlier you were screaming at them. The exception doesn't prove the rule. The exception doesn't prove the rule. But now you want to use an exception to say that
I wasn't making it the rule. I told you what the rule was. It's 20 to 40,000. And my point, the bigger point was, if they can hand out $20 to $40,000 in student loan debt to all these kids, then they should be quickly giving out loans to kids who want to start their own business.
What
but
do you
they
think
don't.
the failure rate is on a business? Do you know what the number of failed startups is?
I bet the rate of failed college students is higher than the rate
You
of
think
failed
so?
businesses.
Well,
Yeah.
the failure rate of business is 98%. How many kids do you think drop out of college? Do you think it's 98%? Do you think it's 99%?
That's not the only metric that can decide whether someone failed at college.
It's the metric that I'm going to use if I'm loaning money as a bank. I have student loans that are backed by the federal government, and then I've got loans I can make to individuals that have a 98% failure rate.
Well, because the bank wants you to be constantly paying that off, and they want you to start working immediately, so you start paying taxes, so you start becoming in a certain tax bracket. They want you to be there.
What else does the bank want, though? The bank wants you to make more money so that you contribute more money to society, so they've got more money to loan out. They've got more shit to do, of course. But like, that's not a bad thing. You want the bank to be incentivized to have you to make more money. You want the bank not incentivized to have you make more money?
Somebody willing to loan you money is taking a gamble. They're taking a bet saying, I bet you're going to do better in the future, so I'm going to front the cost of your education now. Because that investment that you make in yourself is going to pay off dividends, not only for you, because the average earnings of somebody with a 4-year degree is $1 million higher over a lifetime compared to somebody who has a high school degree. They're going to bet on you earning more money for yourself and for the bank. But there's something wrong with that. That's just capitalism 101, right?
What's your point? College is good?
Just saying.
Okay. Destiny will say SNEAKO and Fresh and Fit encourage incel culture for things they can't control, but say otherwise for college and the culture college is creating. More harmful than gambling as it exploits men's dopamine receptors to shift their individual demand curves for relationships and makes them value pixels over real experiences. Yeah, they're both bad. They're both bad.
Okay, here's another question, I'm so curious. How can you look up to Andrew Tate when he made all of his money contributing to the 2 worst areas of society, which is gambling and camp girls?
The same reason why I look up to a lot of, I look up to a lot of drug dealers who are now successful businessmen. I don't respect what they did. I think that drug dealing is bad, but it's a means to an end for a lot of people. And people take the opportunities they could have. I respect people who are gritty and grimy and just, they get money the way that they see fit. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's respectable.
That's okay. And you can have a criminal mindset. But then all that shit you said earlier about like poisoning society is bullshit. If you respect somebody who does like...
Yeah, but he didn't create porn. He saw the market and like he added to it. Doesn't make him a good person. I don't respect that.
What about OnlyFans?
He was part of the Matrix, right?
Why are you blaming them? They saw the they saw the demand, and they just decided to jump on the market.
Yeah, I'm more angry.
You respect Andrew Tate.
Okay, see, OnlyFans girls don't really get out of it and become better people after doing OnlyFans for the most part. And the second part is I'm more mad at.
Tate became better.
I'm answering.
He
He did become better.
advocates for the cam girls, so.
Does he?
Well, yeah, he's talked about like.
No,
how,
he said on podcasts that he doesn't think it was
that.
that respectable, and he understands, and I don't think
he
he recommends.
owns and runs casinos, which is gambling, which is haram, right?
Yeah, it's not. Nobody's perfect with all the money that they make.
Hold on, wait.
My point is that I'm more mad at the system that pushes this stuff and provides it to us, like MindGeek, who owns all the companies, than the people who are just like, am I going to get mad at El Chapo? Am I going to get mad at the drug dealer, or am I going to get mad at Biden open up the border?
Would that be a feminine answer in your world? Women follow, men lead. If you want to see a better world, shouldn't you create it instead of being a cog in the machine? If Andrew Tate was a guy that had to sell drugs and he was making $25,000 a year, then fine. I'm not going to sit there and throw the book at him. But the guy's a multimillionaire. Doesn't he brag about being a multi-world champion kickboxer? This guy didn't need to make another 10, 20, 30, 40.
He don't make a lot of money kickboxing.
Do you think he was okay? Or do you think it was like...
He was broke. He talked about... No, he was pretty broke as a kickboxer.
So the only thing that guy could do was be a scammer. He could only contribute to the degradation of society by scamming men out of money.
No, he could have been driving buses. He could have got a normie job.
He could have been an engineer. He could have been done anything else in society but be a scammer. He couldn't run a real business. They wanted to make their own money. They wanted to contribute to the degradation. They wanted to be followers.
Destiny, my point is, I don't think that it's a good thing to do that, but I understand that people just take the opportunities that are in front of them.
But then you can't be mad at any OnlyFans girl.
I'm not mad at them. When did I ever say I was mad at OnlyFans girls?
You've never attacked people like that for...
I make fun of them.
Why?
Because it's goofy.
Why not? Isn't Andrew Tate even more goofy though?
He's getting out of it. He doesn't do cam girls anymore, and he got out of the casinos. Well, we make fun of him.
He got out of casinos? Doesn't he still own?
He's getting out of the casinos.
Oh, he's in the process. So he's still goofy right now.
I think that gambling is less goofy than doing OnlyFans.
Really?
Yeah, I told you that.
Gambling is literally one of the most... I think it's more addictive than heroin.
John Zerko's calling. Bro, he always try to get in this shit when you're in here, man. Hey, Zerko, I'll call you later, man. Yeah, it's just, like, I respect 50 Cent, for example. He's a CEO now, but he started selling crack. Like Jay-Z, same thing. He's a billionaire. He started out selling crack. I don't think that crack is good, but I respect the hustle. Well, I respect the hustle, man.
You respect people putting money over their values. That's what you're essentially saying.
No, I respect taking the opportunities that are in front of you.
By putting money over your values.
No, I don't respect. You're equating something that I'm not saying.
Well, what you're saying is that, they're just taking the opportunity in front of them. They're just doing what the market demands. They're just making money because they need that money. And it doesn't matter if it's wrong. I still, look up to them because they got the bag. They got what they needed to do. But they got what they needed to do by doing bad stuff. By saying, fuck my values, fuck if is wrong, fuck if gambling is wrong. I'm going to just capitalize this and make money. So to me, it seems like there's a really big difference between like your values and money. And if you're willing to say like, fuck these wrong things, I'm still going to do it because I get that bag, that means you value money more. No,
I mean, same thing. I think that premarital sex and fucking hoes and shit like that I think that that's a bad thing, but I still do it. It doesn't mean that I think I'm a great person, stuff like that. But, you know, people sin.
Yeah, but you're saying you respect these people for basically sinning because they got money out of it.
I respect people hustling. I respect the hustle.
So do you think capitalism is like compatible with your values?
Yeah.
But I feel like we've just been going through like a litany of examples where people were putting money before their values because they were economically incentivized to do it, given our economic system.
Who are you talking about? OnlyFans girls?
Andrew Tate, by like capitalizing upon like a cam girl operation.
Or like 50 Cent, or like all the people that
Or the
were
gambling
talking about
streamers.
drugs as well. Like
Where you were
all those
saying like you can
examples.
understand why they do it, given that there's a financial incentive to do so, but you still don't think you think it's degenerate behavior. So like, how can you ask people to, or like, how are you supposed to ask people to prioritize their values, but you're also saying that people should prioritize making money?
What's your question?
Like, I feel like your values are incompatible with capitalism, but I'm guessing you're pro-capitalism.
Yeah, I'm pro-capitalism.
I know, but like, we're looking at all of these examples where people had to betray their values in order to like make money.
Right. I can respect different things about it. I respect the fact that he was able to sell a product that much and figure out the market and monetize simps and master that. But I don't respect the actual system around it. Like, I don't respect a lot of what's going on in America. I'm living in here making money in this system that I think is extremely degenerate. You know, like maybe if I'm completely by my values, I would get out of here and go to a God-fearing country and go to church every day. But I'm here, I'm part of this system, and so I respect people's hustle. Not everything about it, but I respect people's grind.
Would you have respected him more if he had chosen to make like less money, but lived his values more holistically in his whole life? Or like fulfilled his values more?
Would I have respected him more if he made less money?
Yeah, but let's
But
say
he stayed true to his values.
Like, let's say he became an engineer, or let's say even less. Let's say somehow he made really good money being an Uber driver, for example. Would you have respected that more because he didn't, you know, end up exploiting women or anything like that?
If he found a way to like hack the system of Uber driver and get like tips from different people and become a multi-millionaire from it, then I would respect it.
No, I mean
just
just like a
question.
normie job.
Yeah, just like a normal income. Just, you know, enough
Like
to get out of
50K
debt.
a year or something like that.
What do I respect people who are stuck inside of the debt system?
No. I'm saying, would you respect him more if he was, you know, a normal job, just, you know, barely.
And he made as much money?
No, less money. But it's not like he's dying of debt or anything. He's just.
But he
stable.
dies with principles because he lives his values.
Yeah,
He
but
doesn't help contribute to like cultural degeneracy.
That's not why I respect him. That's not why I consider him like.
But shouldn't you respect him even more if he did that? Because it's like, wow, like you were still able to get out of poverty. And yeah, you didn't become super extra rich, but you lived true to your values. And that means something. That
Sure.
means more than money.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're acknowledging that like society rewards degeneracy, right? Like gambling, sex, drugs, travel.
No, I'm saying society rewards hard work.
Hard work in these sectors, right?
Yeah, the sector's bad, but society rewards hard work. You have to work with what you have available to make some shake and use that money to advance. Yeah.
You think OnlyFans women do hard work?
No, not at all. They're lazy. I just met a lot of OnlyFans girls that are extremely lazy. You have to take like 3 pictures a day. It's simple. And like a lot, they don't even do, like some of them haven't even posted in months and they just rake in the money. It's easy work.
You don't think?
Neither of those things are true.
I've talked to OnlyFans girls all the time on Fresh and Fit. What's not true?
The OnlyFans girls you talked to on Fresh and Fit have like 20 fucking followers. They're from rich families. These people are all fucking spoiled. People that are actually
That's
doing
not true at
OnlyFans,
all.
That is absolutely true. I know way more successful women on OnlyFans than you do, I promise. And the amount of work that they put in, like marketing their shit, working their different media platforms, going
Most of these girls that go on OnlyFans, they have a whole agency do all the work. It's a guy chatting behind the screen. It's not even them typing.
You can outsource some of the work if you want. That's just smart business, though. But the only girls that can do that are the ones that are already really successful. A girl with 50 followers is not paying an agency to do her shit, or she's making like $20 a month. That like if you can say OnlyFans degenerate, that's fine. But you saying like, oh, OnlyFans they take 3 pictures a month, that's like saying like, oh, YouTubers they just like get in front of a camera and talk, right? That's dumb. Everybody works at their hustle.
Okay, I've yet to see an OnlyFans girl that's worked. Maybe you know more than me.
Have you ever seen Amaranth's video with Vice?
Yeah,
I went on an
like
E-Day.
successful OnlyFans girls.
I went on an E-Day with her.
Around the world by like sugar daddies, and like yeah, they put in a lot of work for their shit.
Yeah, sitting in a
Amaranth like streams all day, and then as soon as she's done streaming, she does all of this content for her OnlyFans. It includes like photo shoots and stuff like that. She responds
like 4
to
hours
emails.
of sleep. Like everything else is working.
Like you could say it's degenerate, but like she is working hard.
Okay.
And that's the only part of her job that you respect.
It feels like you don't respect that, but yet you respect Andrew Tate, even though you
Like
can
men
see...
capitalizing on that, but you don't respect the women within these industries.
I don't respect OnlyFans girls?
No, the women within like sex work industries. So OnlyFans girls, like yeah, that falls under it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see like sitting in a hot tub is that hard.
But that's not the only thing she does. That's what we were just trying to illustrate. Like, if you look at her schedule, she's always doing photo shoots. She's streaming for like 8 hours or more. She gets like 4 hours of sleep on average. She's obviously doing a lot of work. That's not just sitting in that. Do you like it when people say, "Oh, you're just sitting in the chair all day"? Like, would you obviously you would be like, "No, like I'm also doing things outside of stream." When I'm on stream, I'm still trying to engage with my audience. It's not like she's
but there's a mental challenge in that. Sitting in a hot tub is like the same stuff. You just have Sims go compliment you for your body.
Well, she's still talking to those people. She's still trying to keep them entertained. You can say, "Oh, like, you know, it's not as hard as you," but
yeah, I don't respect it as much because it more has to do with how you were born. Like if you're born good looking with giant tits, you're gonna make a lot of money on OnlyFans. It's a lot of it is in God's hands rather than your work ethic.
So you think it has nothing to do with personality?
Not much, no.
No?
No, not really. I don't know what... I've been on an E-date with Amaranth. I don't know what the personality is. She was just there like, yeah, there wasn't much there.
Was there no personality or were you just on listening?
I was listening. I had to talk to her 3 different stages. I came second place or third or something like that. It just wasn't, yeah. And that's more experience than most of the Sims I watch. I don't remember anything specific about her personality. She didn't make me laugh. She didn't say anything unique.
So it's not just hard work that you value. You value hard work and their personality.
There's a lot of things that I value in a person. Personality being funny is one of them.
But the reason why I bring that up is it goes back to Andrew Tate, or with this general principle that you stated in the beginning, right? Where you said, okay, I value people who work hard, even if it's not the most glamorous work, like I still value that they got the bag. So we gave you an example of somebody who does that. That's an OnlyFans.
Here's the thing. See, I don't respect Andrew for doing OnlyFans. I respect the life path. To be able to go from being a kickboxer and then analyzing what's in front of him, the opportunities he had, the ring girls and stuff like that. His life path with Tristan working a sales job and like bringing in revenue. The fact that they shared a car and then they made and monetized that money and started investing in the right things and going into other businesses. I respect the overall life path. It's not specifically doing OnlyFans work. That's not it. It's the whole journey. And OnlyFans is not really a journey. It's not a means to an end. It's not, a lot of them don't have to do it. But when you're in a scenario like that, where you're dead poor and you're eating KFC food from the leftover dumpster, I respect the grind and pivoting from kickboxing and taking your skill set from one industry and bringing it to another one and using your experiences and being able to apply that to another business. That is what I respect.
Okay, so my old roommate, she's an OnlyFans girl, and she had to pay for her housing and schooling all by herself. Her parents didn't give her a dime. She used to work hours in the Cheesecake Factory, barely making rent. She got a viral TikTok, and then she was able to transition that to OnlyFans. And now she doesn't have to worry about rent or, paying for schooling. She has all of that covered. Would you say that you respect her? Because she literally went from, nonstop hours, barely making it, no help, to now being able to support.
What is she now,
lifestyle.
though? See, this donation says it perfectly. I know. SNEAKO respects the evolution of Andrew Tate and what he stands for today. OnlyFans girls are just OnlyFans girl. Andrew Tate has been able to inspire an entire generation of men who are told that being a man is a bad thing, who are being told that toxically masculine is a thing, that gender doesn't matter, that you don't have to embrace your masculinity. He has pivoted and he's inspired a lot of people. Is your roommate inspiring anybody? Has she learned any lessons, or is she still just known as an OnlyFans girl? People don't remember Andrew Tate for being the cam girl guy. They respect him for what he talks about.
I mean, I remember him for being the cam girl guy. But regardless of that, let's put a pin on that. She's trying to work more. You're going to make fun of it, but I don't think you should because you're Catholic and Christian. She's trying to shift more into like spiritual work now and like focusing on like meditation and trying to like help people through that. Do you respect that?
That's fine.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't know if it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meditation, cool.
So what's more important to you?
You're
like,
right, Kellen.
your followers like making money or like living their values?
Living true to your values. That's more important.